Hello everybody, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. I know it's not Sunday, but it's Labor Day weekend and I had today off and we had plans yesterday that precluded filming, so I'm filming today. But I figured that's okay, because I haven't filmed now in, 3 weeks? So it has been a busy 3 weeks. I'm a little over halfway through my first license, which is exciting. Yay! I'm doing very well on it so far, which is even more exciting. After the first one is complete, which should be, we haven't set up or signed up for our test times yet, but I'm aiming for the 26th or 27th. Then I'll start in on the next 2 licenses, which kind of go in tandem. And that'll be about 11 weeks. However, once that's done, I'm done. At least for a while. There's 2 more licenses that I can get, but they aren't quite as pressing to get. So I can give myself a little bit of a breather there, which is going to be nice. The train of thought just slipped. I've also been told that the second part or course, which is what does the next 2, it's not as intense as the first one. So that'll hopefully free some of my time back up. But because I am still kind of focused on that, I'm not getting a lot of stitching done during the week. Because I want to make sure that I pass this, because I don't want to have to retake it. So subsequently, I have stuff to show. I have decent haul, actually, to show you. A little bit of stitching, but probably there won't be another video for me again until after my exam at the end of the month. So don't be alarmed if you don't see me, because like I said, I'm really only getting to stitch Friday night, whatever time I have on Saturday, and then Sunday up until time to start studying again. So I'm not really getting a tremendous amount of time to stitch. Well, and then breaks at work, because 15 minutes just isn't enough time to really study. So, yeah. So we'll dive right in. There's not a ton of Q&A, which is probably a good thing, because there's a lot of other stuff this week. The first question comes from Katie Punch, and she asks, if you lived in a property where you could, would you own chickens, or is it just a love of stitching them? It's funny, because I've never actually... Well, I mean, I have stitched, like, tiny chickens, but I just haven't really stitched more than the one pattern, but I really like chickens. I'm not sure about owning them. In my head, yes, I would totally like to do it. But also in my head, I've never done it. I've never been around anyone who raised them. I don't really even know what they're like. It's just this sort of nebulous idea of, ooh, I could have chickens and then have my own fresh eggs. Not that I can eat eggs, so there really wouldn't be a purpose to having the chickens for eggs. But I guess I could give them to people. So yeah. I don't really know. Honest answer there. And so asked what I did this summer. Other than a short trip to New Orleans, it was mostly just work and stitching. So, but it was a fun trip to New Orleans. Julia Matulka asks, what type of work do I do? I work in finance. So, yeah, I'm in finance. Let's see, and that is the end of the questions. So, let's move right on along. Now, this is going to be in no particular order. So some of this is going to be a couple of things that I've ordered. Some of this is going to be my LNS had a sale. That was kind of a garage clearance sale. Some of this is Fabric of the Months. Some of it I may have already shown you, but I couldn't remember, and because I didn't put them away, that didn't tell me anything. So yeah, we're just going to kind of go through what's in front of me here, no particular order at all. So, got a couple of Fortnite Fabrics colors here. I think this one was actually one from a year ago, maybe, but this one is Sugar and Spice. Lovely neutral shade there. And again, if you have seen these, I apologize. After this video, they will be being put away where they belong. There is one whip I won't be showing you. It's Frankenstein, because I want to be finished with it before I show it off, because I did something that is looking really, really cool, and I don't want to spoil it until it's actually finished. So, Frankenstein has had some work, but I should have that one finished. It's my work project right now. Okay, this one is called Sweet Tooth. This one's kind of cool because it's got, it doesn't show up too well, but like this, which looks a little dark brownish, it's actually more of a gray. So it's kind of a brown with some gray mixed into it. So it gives it kind of a nice dirty look. I don't know if I'm going to do the neutral again next year, or it's really going to depend on what they offer us club-wise this year. I'm really well stocked now on neutrals. So we shall see. And then this one, which I think is the newest one, is called French's, which is a little similar to Sweet Tooth, but it's got more gray in it. So it's more of a gray neutral than a brown, but that's fine. I can always use those. Okay. Then, one of the ladies who works at my LNS, Miss Mary, got me this really cute Alice in Wonderland Ben cushion. So she said she'd intended to do a buy a Wizard of Oz one, but this was what she received. But I like this just as well. So it's a real nice, sturdy pincushion from Dolls and Their Girls. So, yeah, that's a cute little. It'll make a good decoration too. All right, let's see. Then we've got Color and Cotton's Floss of the Month, and so I'm in the all colors, I'm in the bright colors, or no, I'm in the all colors, and then I ordered the primitive neutral because I really liked it too. I wanted all of them actually, but unfortunately I didn't get them all. So we'll just show as we start. Alright, so this one is, these three are Carving Pumpkin, Creeping Vines, and Oh My Gourd. That was smooth. Alright, we've got Pumpkin Pie, Cauldron Bubble, and Witchful Thinking. And then Under Your Spell, Bewitch, Raven, and Full Moon. And then I've got these other 5 over here. And I think what I'm actually going to try and do with these is find one pattern that I could use all of them in. I don't know how successful I'll be with that, but I'm going to try. Okay, so I don't know what ended up happening there. I apologize for that really awkward edit. I'm going to try and stitch the 2 videos together. Yeah, that was great. All right, so let's see. So, also from the Stitch Niche sale, or what I got as part of the Stitch Niche sale, we've got a whole lot more. I got one of the Tiny Towns from Heart in Hand. This one is the Valentine's Day one. There's a Christmas one, which I don't have yet. There's a patriotic one, which I don't have. I've got the spring one, or the flowery one. And then there's a Halloween one that just came out that I'm super excited for. I also picked up at my LNS, they had a little Ada grab bag of just scrap pieces for $10. So I got this nice piece of blue, this sort of slate blue, this bit of pink, this salmon color, and this sort of aqua teal. So, very excited to add some more little bits of Ada. Let's see. Then I got, from Stitch and Button, I wanted a bag that was sort of book or reading themed for stitching book club or other literary pieces that I work on, and she delivered. So there it is. So I'm quite pleased. Which the first one I guess that'll get used for will either be the next book club one or Great Gatsby. All right, let's see. Here are. I needed some just oatmeal and plain white Ada for some various different like small projects that I just needed those for. So nothing terribly exciting, just good old Charles Craft and DMC. But necessary is necessary. Then, let's see what else. Also so the sale was like a sort of a garage sale sort of thing where they had a bunch of like old catalogs, magazines, old like Gloria and Pat style patterns that they were just whatever you could fit in a bag. They had different bag sizes. So, I got this magazine. I liked it because of that one on the cover. This very interesting needlework one that had a specialty stitch, like, cottage that I thought was really cool. The only problem is I don't like how difficult it's going to be to get the patterns out, and I'm afraid I'm going to ruin it, but that's what the full thing looks like. This one that I got because I liked its cover model. The 1989 Leisure Arts cross-stitch calendar, just because I thought that was kind of fun. And I need to see when the next 1989's calendar lines up next, because I may put that up at work just for the hell of it. I picked up this just cross-stitch because I liked the food samplers on the back. I picked up this one, Sweet and Simple Cross Stitch by Lori Gardner, because I thought it was super adorable. And has actually, and it's very late 90s, early 2000s, but like, I really liked that Have a Scary Halloween with teddy bears and costumes. So, I was like, yeah, I dig this. I got this very interesting dimension kit. It's called No Count Cross Stitch. And I'm not going to take it out, but so here's the cover. But it's got sections and you sort of color by number with them. So you're not actually stitching a whole bunch. In fact, it's really very little that actually gets stitched. So I'm very, very curious what that's like when it's finished. I got this Vanessa Ann collection one called Home Sweet Home because I really liked the seasonal one that was there on the cover. And then they had some really cool conversion chart books that are probably a little bit outdated in some regards, but it had several like Rainbow Gallery and others that were like Fancy Floss DMC conversions for matching. So I snagged those while I was at it. And then I got a lovely surprise from Sebastian, who I believe they use B's and T's is their on floss tube. But B's and T's I know for sure is their Instagram handle. So they sent me some really pretty floss tags, like several sets of them. So this one, this really neat quilt one, these blue bonnets, and one that says "Sewing is my therapy." They sent me a nice skein of Classic Colorworks in ruby slippers. A beautiful piece of Bestitch Me's fabric. Sort of an opalescent, well, not sort of an opalescent, it's definitely an opalescent. It's a 18 count Ada. In blue and pink with some purple. And then some chicken themed patterns. So there's Crates and Sacks number 3 that has a nice chicken on the front. And this one that says Rise and Shine that has a really, actually very pretty rooster. What looks like a freebie from the Cricket collection that's called Summer Chicken, which is, there's the pattern. And then a Teresa Kogut that I hadn't seen called Bloomin' Hens. So, thank you, Sebastian. All right. So, something equally exciting. My good friend Oliver of Fire Poppies, who's done some really awesome finishes for me, got the last 2 of round 1 back to me. He has also announced that he is starting his own finishing business. I'll drop the email here below. You can also find it on find it using this tag on Instagram. It's the Stitching Stylist. That's at least his email. That's the Stitching Stylist at. Let me double check for sure. I should have done this part. Okay, so on Instagram, it's _stitching_stylist. The email address is thestitchingstylist@gmail.com. And he's got a whole bunch of pictures of the different finishes he's done. But here are my last 2. So first up, we've got my stocking, which he has said is the only stocking he thinks he's ever going to do, because I guess it was not fun. So, thanks. But it turned out really cute. There's the backing fabric. So, there's the stocking. And then this is the piece de résistance, appropriate given its origin. Three Musketeers from Stitching Book Club. Now, when I sent this to him, I told him I wanted it done, finished like a banner, and I sort of mocked up this banner, like, haphazard, like, do this, tassels, go. This came out so freaking adorable. Oh my god. So, hand-beaded tassels, a beaded chain for hanging, and this beautiful piece of vintage, and it's showing up black here, but kind of blackish here, but it's a dark navy blue velvet that came, he said, from his grandmother's stash. And of course the gold cording is beautiful too, but just, I'm just in love. So, there you have it. The ones from Oliver, go support him. He is well worth it. I've got another batch I'm going to be sending him. Alright, so, what have I worked on? Well, so there was a little bit of a rotational shake-up, because I realized I had far too many Halloween dark-themed pieces going. So I did a little bit of a shake-up, so Wicked Siblings and Stitchin' Witches, both of those came out of the rotation. Adventure Awaits went out, because I wasn't loving it. So I'm going to show you the things that I've got in the rotation, except for like a couple, because I forgot to grab them, and they're in there. I'm not going to go grab those now, because I'm lazy. Alright, so I'm going to show you things that I have touched or worked on or moved into the rotation. Or at least things that I can recognize stuff has been done on them. So, Haunted Library from LolaCrow. There's no way I'm going to keep up with it, but I did at least get some work in on it. This is on Rosalind from Under the Sea Fabrics. But I got at least a good portion of the second part done. I really basically just kind of had the ghost left to do. But there we go. So, this is one, I love it. It will be one I continue working on. But I'm not going to be able to keep up with it. I think if I'd gotten the border done and I weren't trying to do my studying, I might have been able to, but I just didn't. Alright. I worked a little on Snow White one night. There have been a couple of nights where, like, my studying's only taken an hour, so I've just grabbed something to work on then, and basically what I'm doing on those nights is I just grab a project and put whatever stitches I can in on it. So Snow White got about 2 lengths done. This is Brooke's Books, and it's on Ale. And not that you can really tell, but I did about 2 lengths up here. So I did a little more of the apron. I worked on Wizard of Oz Tree. And those of you who follow me on Instagram probably saw this last night. This is on just a random one-off blue from Fortnite Fabrics. But I now have half of the branches done. So here are Glinda and the Munchkins. Again, their hair will be done towards the end, kind of like with the wings on the monkey, because I've got some plans that are going to be a little more three-dimensional. I converted the Munchkin outfits to be blue to match the book a little more. Glinda, initially, I was going to do a metallic white for the dress. The crown is a little bit more yellow than I would have wanted, so I was going to do white to harken back to the books as well, but unfortunately, white didn't show up against this, so I had to go with a pale pink that in person reads like white, whereas on here it is reading pink. And then I modified the wand just a little bit. So, still enjoying this one very much. Next month will be Dorothy, Toto, and Scarecrow. And then the Cowardly Lion, then the Wicked Witch, then we'll do the base, and then we will finish it. Let's see. This is one of the ones that came back out to play. It's Way to Happiness from Jardin Prive. It was a free sale. And this was another one where I just had an evening where I got to kind of stitch. So I did a conversion to Gentle Arts. So I finished out the word heart, and then hate got done, and then I started over on this word. So, like I said, I had some time, so I did the stitching then. Whip Go this month was 300 on the closest finish, and then, which is going to be Frankenstein, and then 500 on a whip picked by my friend Rob that I'll show you when I bring it up here in a few moments. Brought out to play, but haven't actually worked on yet, is Greek Gods and Goddesses from CloudsFactory. This is on, I think, Legacy from Picture This Plus. So last time I worked on it, I had Zeus and the Parthenon finished, and I had started it on Hera. Now, what I've since kind of just debated on, and I'm going back and forth on a little bit here, either, because they're all charted as Caucasian, so either I want to convert them and use more Mediterranean skin tones for the gods and goddesses, which I'm having a little trouble determining what shades that would be. So if anybody has done Mediterranean skin conversions that has colors they liked, especially when you're working with, essentially, I mean, realistically, I'm only going to be working with one color for most of the bodies. Don't be afraid to drop that down. I would love that. I'd also toyed with the idea of trying to either do the robes or do their skin in a color that's associated with them. But I've had a lot of trouble, as I've been doing just some casual research, finding colors associated with all of them, so that may have to go out the window. So if anyone has any good resources for information like that, or has a good skin tone idea, please do not be afraid to let me know, because I greatly appreciate that. Right, which also means I'm not afraid to, I will happily frog Zeus's skin tone, although he is kind of the definition of cishet white toxic masculinity, so I do kind of like the idea of leaving him as such, but I'm not against it. Alright, so this one came back out. It's probably not going to stay out because I haven't touched it yet, and Tempting Tangles announced 2 new sales, both of which I've bought. One of them I'm not going to start yet. It's the Mouse King, but she announced her Quakers in Scandinavia, and it looks gorgeous. But I brought out Sizzle and Sour. So, yeah. This one is the one that I'm doing in all Silk Mill silks. So, and I think it's on Sandy Shores from Die Stitch Love. Alright, then there was one night I was really itching for a new start, but didn't have stuff to really do it, so even though I'd said I'd start this at one point and then didn't, I started on The Castle from Elsa Williams. There's this little tiny little wisp of a start. I'm not even sure this is going to stay in rotation, but I worked on it so you're going to see it. There's the full pattern. So I did like the dark purple there. Alright, what else do we have? With Thy Needle by Lila Studio. I got the missing color I needed. And I got the lady's dress done. This one's on, I think, Rose Myrta from Under the Sea. Like I said, there's a lot of these that I'm working on that quite literally it's going to be, oh, I finished my assignments in 35 minutes. Let me just go grab a project, and whatever I get in on it this evening, is what I get in on it. Alright, and then last but not least, and this is actually what I'm going to work on today, and is my friend Rob's pick, is Wheel of the Year by the Wishing Thorn. So I got the top half of the border done, and now I'm going to work on the bottom half, so that hopefully by Samhain I'll be able to start that. So, and this is on It's About Time from Fortnite Fabrics. And I converted it all over to a mixture of Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts and one Cottage Garden thread. So, yeah. Alright, and thus ends today's video. So I'm going to go try and stitch these two together. It may end up being in 2 parts because I'm incompetent. But we'll see. So, anyhow, I hope everyone had a great end of August. I hope you all have a good September. And I will see y'all probably after my exam. Bye!